me with my nose in a book. I didn't even hear you come in. Welcome to the Chaos Library. It's a pleasure to have you here. Do pardon my curiosity, but I don't believe I've seen your face in here before. This is your first visit. Oh, well, allow me to be the first to welcome you to the Chaos Library. How might I be of assistance to you today? You're looking for some books? Well, you've certainly come to the right place. Did you have any particular titles or authors that you were looking for? You were hoping for some recommendations? Oh, absolutely, I'd be happy to oblige. But before we talk books, we need to get you a library card, don't we? Let me see, where did I put... Ah, yes. Okay, so I'll just need to start by taking some basic information down. Sorry, what was that? What will this cost? Oh, no, completely free of charge. We believe that everyone should. We believe that everyone should be able to enjoy the wondrous world of literature without charge. Absolutely. So, how about a first name? Oh, that's certainly an interesting name. Don't tell me. Does that name come from... yes, I thought so. And last name? Okay. Very good. Now, I will also need a date of birth and email address to where we can contact you. Date of birth. Excellent. And the email address. That's at gmail.com. Very good, very good. No, we won't be sending you solicitation emails or anything like that. This is just in case we need to get in contact with you. Alright, so that's all I need. And here you are, your library card. Here at the Chaos Library we have no limit as to the amount of books that you can borrow at any given time. We don't believe in suppressing and putting limitations on a growing young mind. Now, to the recommendations. Are there any particular genres of books that you are interested in, such as fantasy, horror, mystery, perhaps a little romance? You're not quite sure. Okay. Well, what are some of the other titles that you've read before? Okay, so you read while you were in school, not so much as a pastime. Okay, so you're brand new into the world of literature. How exciting. What's that? Classic literature? Oh, absolutely. That's one of my favorite genres. I'll tell you what, why don't you stay here just for a moment, and I will go collect and gather a few different titles that I think you may be interested in. How does that sound? Wonderful. You can help yourself to our complimentary coffee, and I will return very shortly. Thank you. Alright, I'm back with a stack of novels that I'm sure you will enjoy. Our first book is from our Vintage Classics library. It is called The Strange Case of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. Allow me to read you an excerpt from the back without spoiling the plot, of course. Dr. Jekyll has been experimenting with his identity. He has developed a drug which separates the two sides of his nature and allows him to occasionally abandon himself to his most corrupt inclinations as the monstrous Mr. hide. But gradually he begins to find that the journey back to goodness becomes more and more difficult, and the risk that Mr. Hyde will break free entirely from Dr. Jekyll's control puts all of London in great peril. Yes, it is a suspenseful, horrific, classic tale. Who is the author? It's Robert Louis Stevenson. As you can see, this book is not terribly thick, so I find it is a perfect baby step into the world of classical literature. So, you're interested? Excellent. Well, set this aside for you. My next recommendation for you would be The Adventures of Huckleberry Finn. Huckleberry Finn, oh, you've heard of this one? Yes, very good, but never read it. Oh, perfect. Shall I read you the summary for this one as well? Wonderful. Huck Finn spits, swears, smokes a pipe, and never goes to school. With his too big clothes and battered straw hat, Huck is in need of civilizing, and the widow Douglas is determined to take him in hand. And wouldn't you know, Huck's no-good pop is also after him, and he locks Huck up in his cabin in the woods. But Huck won't stand too much of this, and after a daring escape, he takes off down the Mississippi on a raft with a runaway slave called Jim. But plenty of dangers wait for them along the river. Will they survive and win their freedom? A bit of a bigger book, this one, but just as enjoyable. Less horrific themes. This touches on themes including social equality and so on. You'll take it. Oh, wonderful. I have a feeling you'll really like my next recommendation, which is Dracula by Bram Stoker. You have heard of Dracula the vampire, yes? Wonderful, wonderful. Well, through many television and movie adaptations, I personally find it quite enjoyable to visit the source of this fictional character. You'll take it. Oh, wonderful. How would you like to hear a brief synopsis of this book? Why not? Jonathan Harker, a young English teacher, travels to Castle Dracula in the Eastern European country of Transylvania to conclude a real estate transaction with a nobleman named Count Dracula. As Harker wends his way through the picturesque countryside, the local peasants warn him about his destination. They give him crucifixes, they give him other charms against evil, and utter strange words that Harker later translates into vampire. He's frightened but no less determined. Harker meets the Count's carriage as planned. The journey to the castle is harrowing, and the carriage is nearly attacked by angry wolves along the way. Upon arriving at the crumbling castle, however, after only a few days, Harker realizes that he is effectively a prisoner in the castle. I won't say much more than that. You'll find out the rest on your own. You'll take it. Wonderful. Oh, 3 for 3 on the recommendations. Now I've got two more books to recommend for you that I think you'll really enjoy. The next one is none other than Frankenstein by Mary Shelley. Much like Dracula, Frankenstein is quite a popular name, but curiously so, not a lot of people have read the original novel. Now, Frankenstein is a story of Victor Frankenstein, a scientist who creates life from death. The creature he creates is hideous and deformed, and Frankenstein is horrified by the result. He runs away, and when he returns, he has found the creature has fled. The creature is rejected by Victor and by mankind in general, and seeks revenge through murder and terror. Quite curious, isn't it? You'll take it? Wonderful. And the final book that I'm going to recommend for you is The Complete Sherlock Holmes. This book is written by Sir Arthur Conan Doyle, or this series, rather. As you can see, the book is quite thick and has a beautiful, ornate houndstooth finish. Now, contained within this are 4 full-length novels, which are A Study in Scarlet, The Sign of the Four, The Hound of Baskervilles, and The Valley of Fear. Now, as I'm sure you're aware, Sherlock Holmes is a detective. He actually refers to himself as a consulting detective. He is known for his proficiency with observation, deduction, forensic science, and logical reasoning that borders on fantastic ability, which he employs when investigating cases of a wide variety. You'll take it. Wonderful. We'll set that aside with your stack here. Well, I'm very pleased that you're so open-minded to my recommendations. I think you'll find that all of these books more than satisfy your craving to dive into the world of some classic literature. And yes, the door is always open. You may return any time you like. We just ask that you give the books the proper love, care, and respect that they deserve. As we also have a wide variety of CDs and cassette tapes, as well as movies and Blu-ray. Furthermore, through simply signing in with your new library card, you have unlimited access to our computer stations just over there, and you can browse the web at your leisure. Oh yes, we get a lot of students in here as a nice, quiet place, free of distraction, to focus on your work, focus on your studies. So even if you're not here to return or take out more books, the door is always open to you. And it will most likely be me to greet you here. I must admit I spend most of my free time, in addition to my working hours, here. Knowledge is power, as they say. I find myself constantly getting lost in the whimsical world and fascinating stories contained within these walls. I hope by asking that I'm not crossing over any boundaries or sticking my nose where it doesn't belong, but I would be delighted if you'd be so kind as to, when you return, I would love to sit and have a cup of coffee with you and discuss the books which you have read. fascinated to hear what young minds have to say about classical literature. Yes, absolutely. We can even right here. Wonderful, wonderful. Yes, you'll have to let me know what you think, and depending on which books you like and which you're not so fond of, I can make further recommendations from there for next time. Oh yes, I know, young people. Everybody's so entranced and swiping on their cell phones and eyes glued to the television, and while those can be entertaining, can be informative and helpful, nothing quite feels like flipping the pages of a book, holding it in your hand, taking in the smell of the pages, and fully immersing yourself in this world. You create the picture of the characters, you create the picture of the setting. And that's wonderful as it challenges the imagination. Absolutely, and if you have any questions or concerns, you're more than welcome to come in. I'd be happy to assist you. I will let you know that because we are a non-profit library, we do accept donations over in the box, just over there. We use those donations to bring in and purchase all of the latest titles, as well as keep the lights on. This is a big facility. Was there anything else I could help you with today? No? Oh, wonderful. You can be on your way then, but I must say, it was an absolute pleasure to meet you, and I sincerely mean that. You have something about you. I can't quite put my finger on it, but it's something special. So do come back and visit again.